Joining me for another segment to tackle all your teen problems, and I guess problems is harsh, eh?
Challenges.
Challenges is Allie Payne. Welcome to the show, Allie.
Thank you for having me.
So today we're going to jump into school.
When your teen gets in trouble at school, or when the school calls about your teen, you pick. It does happen, and it is an extremely unsettling time as a parent because we want our child to literally reflect all of our best qualities and be the most enlightened version of us. So when we hear that our child has done something to hurt another intentionally or otherwise, it sort of raises up the in all of us, the monster in all of us, like, oh, I am going to take your... Okay, so let's back down.
Well, it's true, because it's funny you say that. I always think my children save their best behavior. And when I say best, I'm putting that in quotes for me specifically. Right. And that's fine. But I would be mortified if that best behavior, again, in quotes, was displayed for other people outside of the home. And so when that does come out, I understand that reflexive action we want to take. And you say that's probably not what we should do.
Probably not. I really like your word mortified, though, because that is exactly, we literally go to mortified. So I was on the phone with a parent talking about this yesterday who was mortified, and that child was on the edge of losing something. That it doesn't work to go in that reactive. So here's a few reasons. There is always about 6 sides to every story. So I'm not saying that the information you got was wrong, whether it was an email, a phone call from a parent, a student, a teacher, it doesn't matter. But you need to go take a few breaths so that you can go and talk to your teen and hear their side of the story. There's nothing that will build trust faster for you than hearing their side. So you've got to do that for sure. And then there's a couple other steps that I go into more detail in a blog. I'll maybe send you the link for it, that you have to build empathy with kids. Kids aren't born with empathy. They're not. We have to teach them that. So quickly, we want to make sure. So what would it be like if you were the person who was getting the negative behavior toward them, or the toxic behavior? How would they feel? So first of all, how would they feel? How do you think they felt in this? Then put your teen in their shoes. How would you feel if it was you? And generally speaking, people get made fun of for things that they cannot change. So that's where you have to say, so how much would it hurt you if I made fun of your hair color or your eye color, something you can't do anything about? And then, of course, we have to talk about restitution. We can't rescue our kids. Do not call the school. Don't call the school and rescue your kid. They have to be able to go in and give them the opportunity to develop. What does an apology look like? What is it a text, a conversation, a note? But they let them come up, because the parents, we go, oh, you are gonna write an apology letter, and you are gonna, and the more you tell them what they're going to do, the lesson is lost.
Right.
So let them come up with what they're gonna do, and then you can help if you need.
And it's funny you say that, that it brings me to an example with my own teens. My one daughter, she doesn't, she goes into the orthodontist. I've made her make her own appointments now for that.
Awesome.
And at first she was a little bit uncomfortable with that. And what ended up happening was that she just delayed her braces being on longer.
Right.
So ultimately the responsibility falls to them. And then they learn that very quickly, that it's on me to actually take care of these things. And same with the apology and how that works.
Right. So natural consequence, right? Like, again, in this situation, an apology letter might come, but when the teenager needs or is encouraged, let's say this, when they're encouraged to develop what the apology will look like on their own and run it by you, they take much greater ownership of it. That doesn't mean it's not going to feel super yucky to do. And you as the parent need to encourage them through that apology process, validating, yep, it feels yucky. Yeah, this is hard. I know you're going to do great. It really matters, and the last thing I will say about this is as parents, we need to, from that day henceforth, let it go. There's no shaming of, well, remember the time no. You only refer back to that incident if it is to build your child up based on learning. when, let's say, something happens again in the future that's similar, you could say, well, remember when this happened and you managed your way through this, and you did, only to reinforce and encourage the learning. We need to move on and stop shaming our kids by bringing it up again and again.
I love that. I think that's excellent advice, not just for teens, but you know what? For everyone.
Everyone.
Let it go.
Let it go. Let it go. Right? We only remember the good parts. Let's let go of the rest.
Okay, excellent. So if people want to connect with you, Allie, and maybe they have some challenges of their own with teens they'd like to discuss with you, where can they find you?
They can always find me on my website, www.alliepayne.com. And I have a private parents group they're welcome to check out. And it's called Finding Our Way. And it is on my website as well.
Always a pleasure to have you here, Allie. We'll see you again soon.
Thanks so much, Candace. Bye-bye.